a transitional housing apartment, they get case management and they get advocacy to try to get permanent housing. Our residential program with the transitional housing can last up to 18 months. They can stay. And it's their own apartment with case management. So it's very beneficial for somebody who's living a domestic violence relationship and they don't even know where to start. So we help them figure out what to do about jobs and how to get extra income if they need to get some kind of welfare, and also, well, very low rent with our services. So it's very helpful for those clients who really are in desperate need, and we always try to manage and get even more services that they sometimes need to, because we have a lot of resources and we are advocates, so we just try to get them the best service that we can, that way they can move forward in life and help their families.
Okay, so if somebody doesn't have a job, for example, which I would think that many people would, if they're being abused and they're out on the road, you know, they can stay in this place rent-free initially? Or?
The shelter is rent-free. The transitional housing program works a little different, but it's all, you know, it's always ways around everything. They can always meet with an advocate and assess the situation and see what they can do in order to get the services. So there's always ways around, and there are other agencies that we work with that might be able to step in and help. So we work with a lot of other social services agencies, and we are connected, and we have, like I said, we have a lot of resources, so we're always going to try to get the help for the client.
Okay, now do you have, is your program open to teenagers if, for example, maybe they're being abused at home, for example, or is there different programs?
Well, we are one of the few agencies in the domestic violence agency in Rhode Island that have our own child counselor.
Okay.
She provides counseling for children who either witness abuse or that they have been abused.
Okay.
So she provides a one-on-one consultations or services, and also is also free. And yeah, it's available for children and teenagers. And we also have a teenage dating violence program, prevention program. So they do, what they do in that program is they do a lot of presentations at schools and other agencies that are in contact with teenagers in order to educate and inform the public about the dangers of teen dating violence. So, but if it's someone who is being exposed to violence, yeah, we can definitely help. We can provide the services they need.
Okay, now I've heard a lot of times people say, but I really love whoever it is that's abusing them. I really love that person. I really don't want to leave them, and you know, maybe things will change or get better. What do you think of that? Do you think?
Well, there's a fact. It's actually a fact that it takes about 7 abusive events for somebody to leave the abuser. That is a lot. And there's also a statistic that said 1 in every 4 Rhode Islanders is a victim of domestic violence. So I understand that a lot of victims stay with the abuser for various reasons. One of them is, yes, because I love the person, because I know he's a good person, I know he's going to change. But unfortunately, the dynamics are very lined in the way that people feel like there's always going to be a change, but that change never comes, because it's a cycle. The person, it's in the honeymoon phase, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again, here's some flowers, we're going to go on a trip or whatever. And then it comes the tension building phase, when it starts to coerce and verbally abuse and mistreat in that way. And then it comes the blowout, the big event where they're getting abused, and then the cycle goes over and over again. So it's very difficult for somebody to leave a relationship if they think they love the person. So my recommendation would be get advice, talk to somebody about it, and maybe they can show you that love is not what you think it is. So by speaking out and coming forward and getting help yourself, I think it's going to help with eventually in your life, and they might realize, okay, this is not good for me, I love this person, but I'm better off without that. So yeah, it's always good to talk to somebody.
Now I treat people, I have patients with physical therapy, and I know that I have I've seen a few patients where they were abused one time. It just that one time, and they have a broken back or a broken neck. So it really only takes one time to maybe even become disabled.
Yes.
Even is that
yes.
so? I mean,
absolutely.
So
absolutely. But before that, before the big event, there are signs.
There's signs all
that people
along the way.
decide to ignore because, oh, it's not as bad as people think it is, or it's not as bad as I think it is. So the abuser doesn't just come one day and punch you in the face.
Okay.
It doesn't work like
Right.
that. There has to be, actually, we always ask, when we do presentations, if you're on a first date and after you have this wonderful dinner and you just went to the movies and you had a wonderful time and the person said, nice to meet you, and punch you in the face, you would never go back to that person again.
That's right.
You would never go out with that person again. But the abusive relationship doesn't work like that. It's always this wonderful person who really pretends that loves you, or really does, but has some underlying issues that you are not aware of. And then it comes tension building, and it might be, today it might be that I punched the wall, and tomorrow it might be that I broke the TV.
I see.
That type of sign to show you the next hit is going to be against my body. So people got to be really careful what they see and what they hear and what they do, so they can determine if they are in harm's way or not.
So if somebody said, well, you know, my other person got mad and slammed the door, is that abuse? Again, that's something they would come in and you would assess everything else that's going on, or would you say that?
It might be because anger problems are a big sign of a potential abuser. If somebody who slams the door or breaks a window because they're angry,
I see.
That door or that window got the hit instead of you.
Right.
So I understand people get mad all the time and they act out, but damaging is a big sign of a potential abuser.
Because of the anger that they're
people
they're
that hurt,
displacing.
that damage stuff around the house, that might even hurt pets.
Okay.
That's usually a sign of a person that is potentially abusive.
Okay, well, this is very good information to know and very eye-opening, I'm sure, for a lot of people are unaware whether they're being abused. Like you said, there are many different types of abuse out there between sexual, physical, financial,
economical,
economical abuse, and it sounds like you're providing quite an array of services. And Gloria did mention that if you're in an abusive relationship out there, that it's very dangerous to get out on your own. There are a lot of professional services that you need to seek and get a safety plan first. It's so important to have something lined up before you leave. Is there anything else that you think?
Well, there's also one thing that I want to mention that we are recently offering here, and is economic empowerment. A lot of people are in abusive relationships because they don't know how to provide for themselves,
Right.
or they don't know how to balance a checking account, and because the abuser usually takes control of the money. And in a lot of cases, the victim cannot leave the relationship because they don't know how to handle money. So we provide education about the financial issues, how to save money, how to put the money work for you. Also, people don't think about this often. Reproductive health can be a form of abuse. If your abuser doesn't want you to take the pills because it's against his beliefs, because I'm the man of the house and I'm gonna, or if they force you to have an abortion, there are a lot of things around that people isn't aware of. So we provide education around those issues as well.
Now, what about job training?
We work with other agencies.
To help.
Yes,
Okay.
we coordinate efforts to provide job training and to seek jobs for our clients as well. So it's a very comprehensive case management that we provide.
Well, that sounds terrific. It's very it's a nice service that you offer in Rhode Island. Now, if someone's coming in, say from Connecticut, some people escape or something. Do you have to be live in a specific district? Or?
No. We provide services to whoever they need it. We have people coming from Connecticut, people coming from Massachusetts, people from all over Rhode Island. So it doesn't matter. As long as they're victims of domestic violence, they will get our help.
Again, we're here today with Gloria Greenfield from the Sojourners House, And would you mind giving your phone number that they can call again one more time?
Yes, our drop-in center phone number is 401-861-6191, and the phone number at the shelter or the safe house is 401-765-3232. That phone number is staffed 24/7. They can call at any time, and they're always going to have a live person on the other line.
Okay. Again, today we're talking about we don't tolerate any physical abuse, meaning zero. We have a zero tolerance for abuse. When you love yourself, you will not tolerate any physical abuse. Gloria, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.
Sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. Who knows the answer? Let's agree as one. It's much too late for war, not peace. It makes no sense for human eyes to feed.